Hello everyone. It's Armored Talk Part 4 this time with me, Spitfire, a few other Tango, and Diggerhole. Today we're going to be covering the impressions of the, well, not really impressions. We're going to be covering our actual impressions of the Global Ops video. If you haven't seen the one Jingles posted or any of the Armored Warfare sites, we'll be hopefully trying to cover you in on it today.
Yeah, quite interesting. New gameplay. That's really refreshing to see. So I'm looking forward to this.
Have any of you two played War Thunder?
A little bit.
I
played
did,
a little bit.
regrettably.
I was very quickly in and I was also very quickly out. So.
Ready up, Diggerhole.
The
Ready.
Global Ops is kind of what we need, like
Yeah.
just flat out.
Yeah.
I have had the opportunity to play some of it. I've looked at it and I've gone, this is good stuff.
Freddy, ready up, please.
Oh, sorry.
It's alright.
Sorry, I didn't. I'm not.
It definitely seems like the PvE hybrid a lot of people have been waiting for, and the one thing that will actually set it apart from its competitors.
Mm-hmm.
While War Thunder tried to do it, their combination of basically a broken game and with the AI kind of being broken as well kind of killed it. But with the PvE working in Armored Warfare, it seems to go well.
Well, this is also taking into account that they're creating a dynamic battlefield. You not only have the waypoints on the battlefield, but those waypoints change, and you get additional waypoints that give you power-ups that are critical to winning or losing. I will tell you right now, a single AFV can tip the balance in your favor very quickly.
Yeah, and it's those kind of individual actions that seem that will be able to win the game.
And also, I have seen, 12 players slugging it out, trying to be the one who gets into the circle for the bombing run.
Yeah, it looks epic. That's for sure.
And it definitely looks like the thing that, while many people call PvE a poor man's thing, or PvP just trying to go off world of tanks, it seems that Global Ops will definitely be able to.
But they now openly admit it.
Yeah.
That they have more PvE players than PvP players.
I think, to be honest, that was a given for a long time.
The whole point is to bring the two together, because now you can go into Global Ops and you don't have to. You are competing against the other players, and you will have to fight them, but you don't have to exclusively fight them. There is the option to go hunt the lieutenant tanks for points, and there are groups of players who were doing that during the press test.
Yeah. Well, I can just say what I saw is actually the best of both worlds, and I think with that the whole discussion of PvE or PvP comes to an end, because you have for both sides you have something. I think that's the way to go, and they have a really good product in their hands, and which they can set themselves apart from World of Tanks, and I think that's also very important.
Well, they're setting themselves apart from World of Tanks, and they're doing something that the World of Tanks game engine simply can't do.
Yeah.
Wargaming will never be able to implement something like Global Ops, ever. It's just not an engine that they're capable of doing it in. They'll have to redo their entire game and start over.
Yeah. I knew they was busy with this whole new engine, but it was 6 months ago or something. There was talk about that, but it's simply very difficult and costs a lot of money to simply go over a complete new system. So if it's feasible, I don't know.
Well, even if they made a complete new system, I doubt that they could transfer the account data between systems. So you would basically be telling the entire player base, "Oh, you have to start over."
I don't think so. It's
they can transfer data over, but it's on individual basis. So they would have to transfer all of those accounts' individual data over and over and over and over and over again, and that requires a lot of time and effort.
That's for sure. But it's also I don't know if you have read the developers blog what he was the interview, and there was also a lot of stuff said, and very clearly they have a vision where this should go and where it should go, and where they made the mistakes also, and that you see more and more on the forums that people appreciate their openness about this, and they play such open cards at the moment.
Well, and it's better for them to play the open cards.
Yeah. But still, it's just global operations. I hear even people who don't play the game, who were on internet and watching with someone from a friend, you know how it goes, that it looks very cool, that they're also looking forward to start playing that mode, while they don't even play Armored Warfare now at the moment. So, promising.
And there's some features that haven't been implemented yet from the video that has been put out, and as far as I know, it's the only video that's been allowed to be put out so far.
Yeah.
But some of the features that haven't been implemented are stuff like the ability to change the tank you're driving during the battle, so long as it's in the same tier.
Yeah, I heard they're similar also with decals wise. You can do possible to do a lot of things you can change actually. So that would be very.
Who's in the channel?
Very good. Hello?
Hello.
We're recording on Zombie.
Okay.
But yeah, the whole
disconnected from your channel.
The whole change here is going to be drastic, and also the global ops that has been allowed to be played. You got to play with the new balance changes, and yeah, I'm still playing the game, so that should tell you something.
Yeah, it's promising. That's it. Simple as how it is. And you already noticed something. Some things change already now. You notice it with shooting. The shots would normally go right in. You simply bounce, or it isn't as simple as it was.
Are you talking about the no effect thing?
Yeah.
That's actually not intended, and it will be fixed as soon as they can figure out how to.
Okay.
Yes.
And the armor degradation is something very welcome in my opinion.
To be honest, it sounds like a horrible idea, but oh well.
Well, what's going to end up happening it will take, your tanks will still take significant beatings, but if say you switch to high explosive and HE stuff, then it won't. Then it will start to degrade the armor, but it won't. You still won't be doing a lot of damage, and multiple hits with that can make it possible to penetrate, to enlarge the weak points, or to make all new ones.
Yeah.
Because you're softening the armor, basically.
Well, it's the same with shooting the era. If the era is gone, you have a weak spot.
It also gives purpose for carrying high explosive incendiary rounds, because while you're not doing a lot of damage in an AFV with your HEI autocannon, you're able to weaken the armor for the MBTs.
Yeah. Well, that's positive, but the things that what I look forward to the most is the rebalancing, and that we simply does it simply stick, that it works as it should work, and not these trolleys games that you sometimes have in. No, it's not gonna. This is not going to cut it. If it stays like this.
No, this is what we have right now is rebalance part 1, and it's a 3-part system. So the next rebalance is for tank destroyers and main battle tanks, and then light tanks and artillery. So, I mean, the missile rebalance was welcome. It makes missiles a much more functional weapon.
True.
The problems I have with it is until we get the main battle tank rebalance, stuff like the BMD and BMP's frag cannon, there's no point in having the frag cannon. Until you get that rebalance where the frag cannon will be useful,
you
may as well just be flinging the ATGM.
Well, I think the focus would be laid in with the 80s gems, because not with the frag. Because there's no use. Well, minimum use.
The only use it has is when a VBL is chasing after you and you can't be bothered to hit him with a missile.
Yeah, such cases. Or teasing little weasels. No.
I remember the BMP apocalypse when the 100mm cannons basically ignored armor and were doing 400 to 500 damage per shot.
Yeah.
Dear God, the Russian 100mm frag apocalypse.
Yeah.
The glorious comrade apocalypse.
I don't know what is exactly the. Well, I don't know. The rumors, of course, are they want to go with 2.0. They want to be live. But that's quite short. I mean,
they want to create. First off, they want to create a game that's going to last for years, like literal years. And to do that, they're saying, okay, instead of keeping everything we have, and they're going through and they're, as the devs have talked about it, is they're basically going through and saying, what if we remove this element? What if we add this element? What if we remove... They're not so much keeping anything, and they're throwing the kitchen sink out and trying to, and seeing what happens if they redo the entire kitchen.
Yeah.
Which I kind of am a fan of, for at least for right now, because so far the balance changes I've seen I really like.
I think if you simply look
Ready up, dig a hole.
Again, I'm again the one. Jeez, long day.
It's all right.
The thing is that it should. What I've seen and what I'm reading, it simply adds up. If you're playing the game now already for some time, and then you're reading those, those are things that have to happen to be able to show a good game or a good platform to start from. It keeps developing. So, but I think the start has to be really good. I mean, if you go live, then the things should be good.
What I really liked about Global Ops was the map size. This means that those very annoying campers in Centauro 120s and Xylos won't be able to sit at the back of the map anymore. That they'll actually have to do something called move.
Yeah.
Which is a very welcome change.
I played today frontline. I had the same in my TD. I had to move really up. Yeah.
For the future maps going forward, they're talking up to right now we have 1400s, and then frontline is the first 2000 by 2000. They're looking at the possibility of doing a 5km map.
Okay.
And having dynamic base points, so that the bases are randomly spawned on the map, equal distance from each other, and the same distance from, which basically means that you will actually have your truly dynamic map, because at no point in time will a spot that was good last time be any good now.
Yeah. But the frontline map is causing some problems. I don't know if you had problems with it.
I found a cliff that's not marked on the map and proceeded to blow stab off of it.
Well, it's not a cliff, but it's simply my the frame rate is really low, and I'm packing quite a punch in my computer, and he has to work quite hard when I'm playing that map to keep even 60 frames per second. That's very hard with my system. In other maps I have over the 90 or even sometimes 100, but the new map frontline, it's giving, I don't know what it is, probably the render range or the why it's working so, I don't know. I played that twice. Twice.
I noticed a little bit of performance downgrade when I was streaming on it, but not a significant amount. I'm guessing it's because of all the additional effects, and again, it seems like they have to go through and re-optimize all their maps. They release at least 2 patches later before they're running smoothly again.
No, that was actually the only little bit point from me. Like, okay, what is this? It should not be happening. And talk to more guys. Yeah, they all had the same problem. So okay, so I wrote my point down, and it's something they probably will hear a lot about because it was already in the forum. So will also be handled. But so far, guys, yeah, it's just wait now and see. And how they will pick it up. We got, by the way, quite some reactions about the PvE and PvP stuff that we were talking about, and also about that indeed Armored Warfare doesn't have a mode that you can even give a compliment to a player. So
yeah, I would think that would be something that if they want to encourage the community they keep talking about and that they keep trying to reinforce, they would add that.
And it's you know, you can make like a karma points, and that someone does something for quite a while, you can also reward that, but that's something, you know, and then people also will mind what they're doing and think twice, and especially the harsh penalties if you don't behave. I find that very important. I heard an example yesterday. Really, my neck hairs went up. We have in my clan an old man. He's 72 years old, and he plays Armored Warfare, and quite nicely actually. And everyone knows him. And he was playing yesterday in a team with a guy, and the guy was so well. The saltiness was really no. The salt mine was nothing compared to what he was throwing there in the chat, and that is something they have to address. You can ban someone or whatever, but that's for 7 days, I think, and then such a person simply continue to do what he's doing. I mean, that should change. It will never be completely gone, but it should change.
Yeah, I agree that there should be some like program or something to hopefully get people to change rather than just banning them for a certain number of days.
Yeah.
But that's going to take like a serious addressing by Obsidian and Mycom in a concerted effort to say, okay, we need to do more than just temporarily ban these guys. We need to, instead of a strictly punishment system, we need to have a reward system as well, so that you get complimented for good play.
Exactly. And why not? You know, it's you've those guys who do play nicely. Those are ambassadors for your game, and as such a people you need to have in your game and keep them in your game. Like this. Good job, idiots. Thanks for no help. Yeah, what do you think I'm doing
here? I
here?
think taking this without the missiles was a terrible idea.
Okay, I am...
I'm sorry, he went off on his own and was sitting on the other side of the map without the rest of the group working by himself.
I'm not even feeling offended. I mean, first of all, if you are coming with a warrior in, you stay in the back. You don't go to the front.
I have no idea what killed me.
The the XM1A3, according to the thing.
Mysterious forces.
But people like that, I mean, either they don't change or they're never going to change.
Exactly. And they love to blame other people.
Yeah, he assumes it's, you know, he drove off on his own, like the rest of us are over here on this side of the map, and this is what we're talking about, is the toxic behavior after that. I mean, we're all guilty of it sometimes, but it doesn't have to be something that's a regular occurrence.
True. But as soon as you start being a person of interest, and in your case, and in my case, and in Sophie's case also, you have to be even more careful with what you're saying. And because that, because somehow, that's my belief, that you should set the standard, and that you can be salty about something, but
you're still the one. You still have to be the example.
Yeah. And later on, if the game is live, what was Captain Fancy Pants talking about us being brand ambassadors, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
You have to really think about those things. To PM that again.
When did Fancy Pants say this? Did he say this on the forum?
No, he said it straight to me in a private conversation, face to face. That he wrote all my. I was asking, why do you need all my data? Yeah, because when the game goes live, we want to have all our brand ambassadors registered. So, and I was at that point okay, and I was not even paying so much attention. And later, like, okay, yeah, you get a little bit of information, and that's it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's actually what's been said. And because I only do Armored Warfare, also on YouTube, and maybe in the later stage even streaming, and I will keep doing that.
I do. I started doing it because I enjoyed it. Now I do it for a living. So
yeah.
And I will fully admit that for the duration it seems, I'm stuck with Armored Warfare, and Armored Warfare is stuck with me.
Yeah.
Oh no! How terrible.
Well, you can make it as hard on yourself, you know, but you can also try to make the best out of it. And as soon as they go live, and the marketing machine of Obsidian Entertainment goes rolling, then you can expect a lot of attention on the YouTube streams, because people want information, they want to see.
Yeah, I've actually got requests for vehicles I haven't reviewed yet, and I'm like, I haven't reviewed something, and they're like, yes, and I'm like, okay, why do I have requests?
Mm-hmm. People, when you don't do them, they ask for it. I want to do a request. Can you do, Freddy? Are you gonna do reviews? No, I'm not gonna do the standard reviews that I'm going to really, literally take the whole tank apart, and in the end, I come with some nice words telling how good the tank is or how bad he is. Because the simple fact is, the stats, what you get in the game, are not the stats as the tank really is. So I have no reference point. The tank you will never get the right stats, the right armor values, never, because no country does that, no manufacturer does that. Who they want to put an Israeli tank line, because it's coming, Israeli tank line in your game. Yeah, the values that they will never give you the exact values.
On the basis. Oh, you go on.
Because I'm a hobbyist, I know a lot about Second World War, and I do a lot of things on Pinterest also. I have everything, every little snap, what you can find in tanks. I got it on Pinterest, and I'm seeking the information and finding some viable information about a certain vehicle, especially the modern vehicles. It's tougher than you think. It's not okay. You type in Wikipedia and you get some data, but the data I know for a fact that it's not the right data. And that's what I the last time tried to told. What was it telling the guy? he was so busy with the armor and everything, and then I only told him, yeah, but dude, the vehicles that are being used in armored warfare, yeah, first of all, this game plays in the time 2030, so ahead in time. For seconds, how we are using them is not the right way, because in real time they are used completely different. You don't even see your enemy, because the shell is being shot 2.5 kilometers away, and that's how it goes. So the values you should not take so seriously, and that's what I find with doing reviews. Simply talk how it works in the game, and I think that's the best thing you can do. And somehow people want to hear that.
So, who would like to proceed to really laugh about the end of this game we've been playing in the background?
I found it to be quite amusing.
I was out of ammo.
I was shot. I was killed in my Challenger.
I think that taking the VBR was an awful idea.
Sorry, Sophie.
Well, let's talk about the VBR, because from my understanding and having played it on the test server, I don't feel like it has a place at Tier 8.
No.
The missiles are good, the autocannon is okay, but the vehicle has no smoke grenades whatsoever. It's kind of slow, it's big and it's fat.
Yeah.
And the Terminator and Warrior both have more armor. The Warrior is more mobile. The
has
Terminator
significantly higher DPM.
And significantly.
The Terminator has better missiles.
Yeah, but if you take the VBR and you go look at the stats, so your first gun when you start with the 20mm is actually outperforming the second gun, the upgraded gun, that actually is belonging to the Crab. But they downgraded it for the VBR because it's exactly the same gun, it's exactly the same ammunition, and it is a lot difference between the ammunition of the VBR of the ammunition of the Crab, but it's the same. So you get the downgraded version.
It whenever you're ready, Freddy. It doesn't feel like it has a place here. It doesn't have. It doesn't have firepower over the other two AFVs. It doesn't have view range or camouflage over the Warrior. It most certainly doesn't have the armor of a Ramka, and its missile is nothing compared to the Ramkas.
True.
So what you end up with is you kind of end up with just a subpar AFV at Tier 8.
If they had made it fit in, it doesn't stand out.
No.
It's just a vehicle. That's it.
It's a supportive vehicle, and not for light infantry duties, escort duties.
It also doesn't reflect the rest of the line. I mean, we know the Swingfire is getting moved out, but the XM800, the Fox, the BBL, the Weasel, they're all very small, very fast, and you definitely don't want one of them to flank you. The VBR is big. It's not nearly as fast.
Just to flank you.
It doesn't have the firepower of the previous vehicles.
No, it's true. He has some significance in his 20mm because of his high rate of fire, plus the fact he can in his clip has 45 shots, so has quite a high penetrating value, the first gun, the 20mm. But if you take the gun and you take this vehicle in contrast, you can just as well put a VBL. Yeah.
Is this the new mission? Did we just drop on the new mission?
Holy crap, yeah.
Oh, hi everyone. This is our first experience with the live version of this mission.
Oh, this is...
This gonna be good.
They will spawn everywhere, all over the map, so you have to be going... Yep. There's the one.
Alright, so some people have to stay here and defend the Aurora?
No, that we will simply go here and... What? Anyway.
Well, thankfully they're shooting at us.
Well, shoot back!
I am.
So, we didn't actually plan this.
No.
I kind of feel like the release of the balance changes over time are a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Because of, AFBs are now super powerful.
Yeah.
Although you could say that's because they've been the ones that have been changed first.
Yeah.
But I don't know if the rebalance. Well, where would it end? Where will it end?
If you notice with World of Tanks, it's a constant process of rebalancing the game. It's never a where does it end. It's
Really?
It's a continuous change.
Yeah. But the people are afraid now that they will lose a lot of the. Yeah, some vehicles have quite significant, put their mark on games because their way of playing, and people are afraid that they will lose that. And I can understand that, of course. You're afraid because your vehicles, which you usually played that you liked and loved to play, is going to be nerfed or balanced, as they say.
The thing is, I don't really feel like some of the buffs to vehicles in this game I feel are unjustified, but nerfs I've never felt were unjustified for any particular vehicle.
True. I don't know if there's going to be, if people even are aware of the fact what's going on now, because for instance, in my clan I normally did take all the information, and I made a very short video and put all the information in there specifically for them what I should read, what is quite important concerning the game. And that people even they didn't read it. But for most of the people, a very small portion, they take this information, and those people are aware what is going to happen. They can logically think, and they can think, okay, it's it makes sense. But the other people who don't read the articles on the website and don't even look at the forum whatsoever, they're the ones who will start rioting because their premium vehicle is nerfed. But you're not allowed to nerf a premium vehicle. Yes, they can nerf your vehicle because it's an open beta.
And I think they're allowed to nerf premium vehicles non-stop. If you do not educate yourself about the game, then in my opinion you have no right to whine about it.
Exactly. But
it isn't that hard to go on the forum, follow the links and look at the balance changes. It takes 30 seconds or less. I
had to send for someone who I would guess that he has the marbles and on the right place. Now can you send me the link? Dude, just open your starter sheet or your begin sheet of the game, and then you can click on. Yeah, but it's so difficult, little things, and having such a mouth about this, that is bad, this is bad, and this is crap, and then
there are reasons for everything that they do. I found, and if you go research their reasoning, it's usually pretty sound. I mean, I'm not 100% behind the devs, and some of their decisions are pretty boneheaded at times, but there are things that need to be that they try to address. Yeah. When they saw what was happening with, we want to increase the draw range, and then they saw what happened, they went, never mind, and then actually they went out of their way to nerf draw range.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The thing is, what we forget, and not as players, is if you build something like this and you're gonna change a certain aspect of it, it could change something else further in the game. And a lot of people forget that. It is not only okay, I tweak a few buttons and I type a few sentences and a few ones and zeros and it's okay. But
Yeah,
that
it's
action has
it's about finding the interactions. Like,
yeah.
If I decrease this tank's penetration, well, how does that interact with all of the vehicles it sees?
Yeah.
If I increase this tank's armor, how does that interact with all the vehicles it sees? And sometimes, yeah, they make boneheaded moves. Like right now, to me, the Challenger 1 is way too overpowered.
And the Centaur 120.
Yeah.
And the Assaulter. And the Xylo.
But they're making efforts to change at least one of those now that they've announced, and they're looking, and in Balance 2.0 for main battle tanks, we're looking at probably some serious changes to, like, the Challenger 1. It's going to happen.
I think maybe we should be bumped up one tier.
It should, with better gun handling, better penetration and damage, that's it.
Yeah.
I kind of think that it and the Ariete should trade places.
Mm-hmm.
No offense to Italians or anybody, but the way the two tanks perform, the Ariete definitely feels like it would be better at Tier 7, and the Challenger feels like it would be more balanced at Tier 8.
Do you really think the Ariete?
Yeah,
Tier
because the Ariete still has a larger frontal weak point than the Challenger. That's easier to hit. And the sides, once you get past the armor, are much more vulnerable than the Challengers, and you still have the frontal wheel that can be shot through on the front of the side, whereas the Challenger, you can't shoot through that side front wheel to save your life.
No, because you have to really have one weak spot, which is hull. The frontal... Anyway. But still, for a lot of people, the changes will be scary because they don't know what to expect. I found the strategy. Oh my god, I'm talking properly. That they now put jingles in place and to show the mode global operations was a good move. Marketing wise, and
it doesn't help some of the rest of us who participated but were unable to show any of the stuff. But
yeah,
it's a marketing decision.
Yeah, exactly. Because the other thing is, what people also say, why does Jingle do this? Why not our own people from our own community? Because Mr. Jingles hardly puts any content on his channel about armored warfare. That's very little. Because that's also
when he
what people are saying.
It's something everyone notices.
But marketing-wise, it's a good move. And that's what I said again. If you have the right marbles in your head, you can think, okay, this is a good move. This is the right play.
And damn it, I wanted to ram it.
And to be honest, he did a great job with it. I mean,
oh yeah, he did a great job. He showed it off. He showed the cons, and he showed the couple flaws in global operations that exist. But he also showed that, hey, this is kind of awesome.
Yeah, because he sees it's not another World of Modern Tanks, and he sees that that they're now showing their true face of where they want to go. And it was, of course, in the beginning, okay, Modern War Tanks, World of Modern Tanks, because that's what it started to look like. And so I find it very good, in the right time it came with this. Nothing.
But yeah, that's I feel that global operations is definitely what we've wanted the entire time, and if we get a large enough player base, there is likely plans for a strictly PvE version of global ops, but that would require a large enough player base. In the meantime, as far as everything from basic play to competitive play, global ops is gonna be it. You're gonna be just running global ops all day long, and I can see PvE and PvP players getting in on it and enjoying it.
I will probably be playing global ops most of the time because
me too. Having a direction, having a target or to do.
Having an objective, and when you die, it's not the end of the world for the match. Is a breath of fresh air.
It means you can take things a little bit more freely. I mean, like remember like Water Tanks in War Thunder, you die, that's it. In Global Ops, it's going to be, hey, at least you have a second chance.
Yeah. You simply spawn again and you go at it, and there's a simple time limit for it. So it's really good. Yeah, it has a lot of potential again. But at first when I saw it, I had to think of Call of Duty.
I had a Call of Duty and Counter-Strike until I played it for a little bit. Then I was like, no, this is amazing.
Yeah. I was watching the video from Jingles with my son, and he has Armored Warfare on his computer down, but he doesn't play it. And he was watching this video and he was saying, oh, that's cool. And I said to him, you can play if you want. Yeah, but I like this. Do you also have this now in the game? No, not yet, it's coming. Oh, I want to play that. It's something completely different in the industry. And the fact that they admit that they simply have more PvE players than PvP players.
Yeah, they admit it, and it shows in the numbers they released for the NA server. They're like, yeah, we only have about 1,000 PvP players a week on the NA server. Yes. Well, how many PvE players do you have? Close to 22,000.
Yeah.
People on the server are like, PvP's dead. I'm like, yeah, because everyone in North America prefers player versus environment. North America is primarily not a PvP culture.
Yeah. And I think with this, it will change. I'm sure of it. Yeah.
You'll want to run it. It's something fun and dynamic, and if you make, as we said, if you make one mistake, it's not all over. So, anybody get any final thoughts before we close out?
No.
Well, one thing, because I wanted to talk already last week about the IS-7. It's coming.
I am. I want to see it just to see it, but I don't think I'll play it very much.
The thing is, it's an iconic tank, and especially for all of us who have played in World of Tanks,
we know to hate that thing.
Yeah, but also, you were like, oh, I have to get that tank, and to the grind to tier 10. And my God! And now you get it here. Into your garage.
I'm under the impression that it's better if it comes out for free, that it's better for a vehicle that comes out for free to be underpowered than overpowered.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we did something yesterday evening quite interesting, and it's we did fun and games, and we had one part in there that we simply switched all UI off, and then we started fighting Russian tanks against American tanks.
I have had the all UI off bug happen where it wouldn't turn back on, and I played through a PvE match like that, and it was one of the funnest experiences I ever had.
Yeah.
Because it was first off, I was aiming the gun by feel instead of by the sights. I was determining friend or foe by my own two eyes instead of by the UI. It was fun.
Yeah, you have to be more aware. It's like.
I think that that should be a future game mode is no UI.
Why not? Now you can have a UI, but limited. Just with the gun,
Just have the gun UI, have no pin indicator or anything, and also have instead of having blue versus red, we have flags on the tanks that you have to look at and identify friend or foe.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. If you have to look twice.
Wouldn't that make sitting in bushes very
Well, we didn't.
easy?
Was sitting in bushes yesterday. We were playing on Wildfire map, and we decided to stay together, and so slowly we rolled over the map, and then we encountered. They simply were split it up, so we could pick them off one by one. And yeah, you have no UI, so you cannot aim. So you think you shoot that you're shooting somewhere. So it was hilarious. Really had a lot of fun.
Anyway, I think that's everything for today.
Yeah.
Or at least all we have time for. We're over 40 minutes already again.
Okay.
So this has been Fiora and
Lightfoot Freddy
And Spitfire.
You can check out their channels in the links below if you're looking for more Armored Warfare content, as I'm sure they've put mine somewhere in there hidden down in the bowels of obscurity.
Yep.
Yes. God.
It's always nice to have you guys. Hopefully next week we'll have Fashion Italki back with us. They're both traveling this week, so they were unable to make it.
Okay. We have next week better. Right?
And does anybody have a topic they want to put forth for next week that we should start researching?
Maybe we can look at the developers blog coming week.
That is true. There's a dev blog here this week, isn't there?
Yeah, there was one day before yesterday, so probably we'll pick one up just before we start Armor Talk, before Sunday. So
all right.
I'm curious about what there will be written. So, but we can mail forth and back, and we can talk about it even before we make the show.
Or everyone in the comments could give us some things to talk about. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Yeah. People watching.
Yeah.
Ready if they did.
Yeah, people. But also, we want to know what everyone is thinking about the game and what they think should change and. Or what shouldn't change, the viewers, you the guys, you watch this, and we try to bring as much information as we can, and our thought process is one, but that's still of three people sitting here talking, and there are many more of you guys who play this game, so. Don't wait, send, write down, even telling that we are crap, also okay, if you want to do that, fine. But simply think and let's make this game great together. That was my final statement.
Alright,
so you're awake? Okay.
See all of you guys next week.
See you all
Bye
next
for
week.
now.
Bye, next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.